It just exploded, my friend. Get ready, because your heart is going to beat faster than a Josh Allen pass on 4th down. Things are heating up behind the scenes for the Bills, and the next decisions could shake everything up. Big names have emerged, unexpected moves have taken shape, and the fans are already in an uproar. The NFL is in shock over what just came out, and you'll understand why. If you really love the Bills, leave a like, because today, the bombshell is big. Bills Mafia, hold on tight, because a name has just entered Buffalo's radar and could change everything about this offense. The rumor, Terry McLaurin to the Buffalo Bills. Yes, you heard right. Scary Terry, one of the most explosive and consistent wide receivers in the NFL, is being touted for Orchard Park in a trade hypothesis that is generating intense debates throughout the league. And while that move isn't confirmed, even the possibility is enough to cause a stir in the AFC. Let's break it down. From the outside, the fit is almost too perfect. McLaurin is coming off a 2024 season in which he threw for 13 touchdowns, the second most in the NFL. His elite speed, masterful route-running ability, and fearless mentality would give Josh Allen the true WR1 he's been missing since Stephon Diggs left. With Dalton Kincaid developing into a top-tier tight end and James Cook wreaking havoc in the backfield, the addition of McLaurin could elevate this offense from dangerous to downright unstoppable. But there's a catch. Actually, there are a few. First, McLaurin is currently in the middle of a contract dispute with Washington. Reports suggest he wants a staggering $37 million per year for his next deal. Some insiders say that's inflated, others say it's simply not real, but the tension is definitely real. And here's where it gets tricky. The Washington Commanders aren't exactly in a selling mood. After a 12-5 season and a run to the NFC Championship, they're laser-focused on winning. They've already pulled off 2 major trades, bringing in Deebo Samuel to bolster their WR group and Pro Bowl tackle Laramie Tunsil to protect their young QB. With Jaden Daniels still on his rookie contract, this is their moment. Would they really ship out their most prized weapon in the middle of the Super Bowl trade window? It seems unlikely, but McLaurin's contract situation could force them to act, especially if the training camp drama escalates and the front office decides to avoid a long-term headache. Now, let's look at Buffalo's side of the ball. Financially, things are tight. The Bills are dealing with a challenging salary cap, and pulling off a successful trade for McLaurin would require some serious maneuvering. And beyond the numbers, there are locker room dynamics to consider. How do you hand McLaurin a potential $37 million salary while James Cook, fresh off a breakout year with 18 touchdowns, is still making just over $5 million? That kind of disparity could cause friction in a heartbeat, even if Brandon Beane can figure out a way to make the money work for him by restructuring contracts, trading future picks, doing some legwork to stay under the salary cap. Such a move carries enormous risks, not just financial ones, but emotional ones. A deal of that magnitude could spark a championship run or destroy the team's chemistry. And yet, can we really ignore the way McLaurin looks in a Bills jersey? Can you imagine Allen firing 50-yard passes to a receiver who can crush cornerbacks at every level of the field? The dream is so vivid, it's almost painful to think it might never happen. Even if that success never materializes, the rumor mill has exposed one truth. Buffalo is still searching for the final piece. The front office knows it, the fans know it, and the rest of the league is starting to feel it too. The Bills are one big step away from something special. And while the McLaurin rumors continue to swirl behind the scenes, the Bills have already made a real and surprising move at a position that could be crucial in a pinch: backup quarterback. And the name that's back in the spotlight is more familiar than you might think. While Bills fans held their breath for 2024, Josh Allen delivered. Once again, the starting quarterback extended his regular season starting streak to 104 consecutive games and brought home the NFL MVP award. But if the impossible happens, Buffalo needs a plan B, and that plan appears to be taking shape right now in the form of Mitchell Trubisky. Having found his feet after a forgettable stint in Pittsburgh, Trubisky returns with a chip on his shoulder and a real chance to be Allen's backup again. While Mike White remains on the roster, few believe this will be a legitimate battle. The stats aren't close. Trubisky has 65 more touchdown passes than White, a 31-26 career record, a Pro Bowl nod, and a playoff run with Chicago under his belt. White, on the other hand, started just 7 games and looked overwhelmed in his lone Buffalo possession last season, completing just 3 of 11 passes for 28 passes against the Patriots in a meaningless finale. Even general manager Brandon Beane made no secret of his expectations. "We don't guarantee a lot of spots, but Mitch knows the deal. You have to earn it every year." That's not exactly a compliment for White, who has bounced between practice squads since the Cowboys drafted him in 2018. Trubisky joined the Bills in 2021 and now returns to familiar territory, both on and off the field. He and Allen are even golf buddies. But the real question is, can he interview and keep the season alive if disaster strikes? With a solid understanding of the system, respect in the locker room, and a resume that dwarfs his competitors, Trubisky seems like a surefire candidate to be the QB2 in Week 1. He's not flashy, he's not headline-grabbing, but he may be the most underrated safety in the NFL. But while the race for the QB2 spot seems on track, the uncertainty at another key offensive position is just beginning. Even after an 18-touchdown season, James Cook's name was thrown into the fire by an ESPN analyst, and the season among fans didn't last long. Here's a hot take you probably didn't see coming. James Cook, coming off a season in which he racked up 1,009 rushing yards, 258 receiving yards, and 18 total touchdowns, is being considered a top candidate to regress in 2025. Seriously, ESPN's Tyler Fulgham didn't hold back, labeling Cook as someone who screams regression and could be a fantasy football disappointment. Why? Fulgham apparently believes the touchdown streak isn't sustainable, citing Josh Allen's continued dominance in the red zone and the rise of second-year running back Ray Davis as threats to Cook's volume. On the surface, this might make statistical sense. Cook had just 9 total touchdowns in his first 2 years, and he exploded in 2024. But calling him a bust? That's where Bills fans draw the line. Cook has improved every year since entering the league. As a rookie, he split time with Devin Singletary, but still posted 507 yards. As a sophomore, he took over and delivered more than 1,500 yards from scrimmage. His surge in 2024 wasn't just a fluke. It was the natural evolution of a workhorse who finally got a full workload. Critics like Fulgham may be looking at numbers on a spreadsheet, but anyone who watches Bills games knows Cook's impact has been real. He's given Allen a constant threat in the run game, opened up the passing game, and been lethal in the red zone. His touchdown count could dip a bit, sure, but labeling him a fantasy bust is almost disrespectful. And if you needed more reason to believe in Cook's persistence, just look at what's going on behind the scenes. He's pushing for a contract extension, and that only happens when the front office knows it has a star on its hands. Regardless of whether he gets paid soon, one thing is for sure: James Cook never ceases to amaze. If you were Brandon Beane, what would you do? Would you risk everything for Terry McLaurin even with the tight salary cap? Would you trust Trubisky as the ideal replacement for Josh Allen? Or would you bet everything on James Cook, even with the media criticism? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, but I will come back later to update you with the latest news from the Buffalo Bills.